Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Brett Franklin, and here we are at the screen again. This week we're going with our top 5 NFL quarterbacks. Whatever you want that to mean, it can be top 5 this year, top 5 going forward. You get to call. So we'll start at the bottom. Number 5, who you got?
All right, I'm putting this as top 5 quarterbacks going into this season.
Okay,
all right,
there we go.
So at number 5, I know it's going to be a little bit surprising, but I'm going to go with Joe Flacco. You know, I know he's not worth the contract. He got a lot of money out there in Baltimore, but as Patriots fans know, he can play in the playoffs. And when he has a team, when he has a defense, when he has some weapons around him, he can be a guy that can win you some games. So I'm going to go Joe Flacco, number 5.
All right, for my number 5, I'm going to go Andrew Luck. And I know he's had some disappointing seasons. I think they get some team around him, a little defense, some offensive role players, and he'll thrive again. So I'm going Andrew Luck as number 5. Number 4, who you got?
Number 4, I'm going to go Andrew Luck. And, you know, you feel bad for the guy right now. He's got no support down there in Indianapolis, as you said. He's been injured as well. But I do think that he's a guy that you build a franchise around. And the Colts better start getting their act together, because if he's not happy in a couple of years, he'll walk.
Exactly. All right, number 4 for me, I'm going to go with Matt Ryan, defending NFC champ. I think he finally put it all together this year, got to the Super Bowl. I know we talk about a Super Bowl hangover for the loser. I don't think he'll have that. I think Ryan will keep it going. He's always had the talent. I think he got over the hump this year. Number 3, who you got?
A little bit surprising, I think, for some people, but I'm going to go with Cam Newton at number 3. I know he didn't have a good year this year, and I know people beat him up after the Super Bowl loss, but you know what? I didn't like him in college, but I like him in the NFL. He plays hurt, he plays tough. He's not afraid to run the football. He's got a good arm. He stands in the pocket. He takes hits. I like Cam Newton. I wish he was just on a better team and he had better receivers.
All right, number 3, I'm going to go with Russell Wilson. I think another guy who kind of needs some guys around him. He can't do it all. He needs that offensive line in Seattle, but I don't think he's regressing or anything. I think he'll be fine going forward. So Russell Wilson, number 3. Number 2, I bet I can guess who you got, but go for it right here.
All right, I'll go with Aaron Rodgers. But I will say this, though, Jeremy. I mean, they did have that run last year in the playoffs, but everyone who says that he's better than Tom Brady is just foolish. When was the last Super Bowl he appeared in? Up until last year, he wasn't really good in the postseason as far as, you look, I think his record's above 500. So, he's good. He's a good regular season quarterback, but, he could be better. Well, I think we'll know who the number 1 will be.
And I got the same as you here. I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers as well. He's a great quarterback. He puts up the numbers, but there's a lot more to it, like you said. Getting wins in the playoffs, taking your team to the Super Bowl. He's got some more pieces this year, so we'll see what happens. But his window's closing, too. He's got to win a Super Bowl soon.
They got to get a defense over there.
And number 1, the least surprising pick of all time in this show.
We're very New England, right? Tom Brady, number 1. And if there's any other debate about it, you're wrong, because the Super Bowl win last season, what he did in the Super Bowl, it proved everything. He's better than Manning. He's better than Rodgers. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. Enjoy it while we have him.
That's true, and I can't disagree with you. I'm going to go with Mr. Tom Brady himself as number 1. I know he's getting older, and I know people are saying this is going to be his last year, but how many times are they going to just keep saying that? I will say it when I see it.
He's probably better now than he was as a rookie. You could say that.
And as we'll talk about next, he's got a lot of new weapons around him. This team looks like they could be really good for at least this year, maybe next year. So maybe even the long haul. He wants to play till he's 45, 47, as long as Giselle doesn't stop him.
She's the boss.
She is. We'll take our final break. When we come back, we'll talk some more football, some Patriots, and our Salt Hill Pub picks of the week. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.